Good day, everyone. My name is Kevin Chima Ibe. I am an English language teacher. I have 22 years teaching experiences in different international schools in Nigeria and abroad. And I've worked with different companies that are into language teaching. I'm an online English language teacher, and I want to reflect on some of the issues that border on teaching, with particular emphasis on my own experience as a teacher. My favorite take about being a teacher is that it is an interesting and quite engaging activity. Teaching is not easy, but it is interesting and edifying, particularly when you are in the midst of young, vibrant children from different cultures and nationalities. They make you feel reinvigorated, active, and have the desire to engage them in whatever way that can make them to be a better person in future. The things that I do find challenging as a teacher is the idea of lesson preparation. It could take some time, it could be challenging, but when one looks at it generally, one will discover that it is equally interesting and important, because one cannot just jump into the classroom, pick up a marker, and start teaching. There is a need to write lesson plan, note of lesson, and organize the classroom to make the learning environment suitable and interesting, as well as alluring for students to learn. What I do find challenging at times also is the issue of lesson time, duration for the lesson. At times, you may have an interesting things to teach the students, but the time might be a limiting factor. But all the same, that is the more reason why a lesson should be well prepared on time, so that the teacher can know what time that will be okay for him to use in teaching the students. Well, the mistake that I can say that I've made once while teaching my students in the class is in the area of pronunciation. The word favorite, I mistakenly pronounced it as favorite, but I was happy that I was able to recollect myself, correct myself, and correct the impression that it might bring about in the minds of the students. I made them to understand that the rightful word for that word is favorite rather than favorite. Um, I noticed that some students do make some mistakes in classrooms, particularly when it comes to language learning. My perspective about it is that, first and foremost, nobody is above mistake, or nobody is above making an error in language learning. But I believe that what a teacher should do is to correct the student with love, making the student, first of all, to understand the error in language he or she has committed, making the student to understand the reason for committing such an error, and then guiding the student to eliminate such an error. At times, the error a student makes could be a blessing in disguise, in the sense that it will offer the teacher an opportunity to intensify his teaching, particularly in the areas that students are finding difficult to understand. It will help the teacher to enlighten the students more, and by so doing, the students will learn better and avoid making such mistakes or errors again in the classroom. I do find some students nervous in the class and some talkative or untalkative. Well, it's part of human nature because people or students, so to say, have different temperaments. Some are introverts while some are extroverts. More often than not, introverts find it difficult to express themselves in public. They rarely talk, and when you ask them questions in the classroom, they become nervous. My take on it, first and foremost, is that it's part of human nature. But as a teacher, I see it as my duty to eliminate such, or to encourage or motivate my students to avoid or overcome such psychological acts, so to say. What I do when I encounter a nervous student in my class is, first of all, to crack a joke, to look for one thing or the other that will capture the attention of the student. I try to make the student to feel relaxed by smiling, cracking a joke, or making one thing or the other in the classroom that could make the student overcome his or her nervousness or shyness. For those of them that are untalkative or find it difficult to talk in the class, I do try to put them in groups and make them to be in charge of the group. So much so that by the position they occupy as leaders of a learning group, they cannot but talk. And I do motivate them by making them understand that the more they talk, the more they will be appreciated, particularly when they talk meaningfully, contributing meaningful ideas to the development of a lesson or a learning topic. The issue of comping culture is actually very, very important to me. Every company, every establishment, every organization has a culture, its manner of operation, its rules and regulation. For me, is very important, and I do respect individuals' organizational culture or manner of behavior or operation because I do see it as part of self-discipline and at the same time something that will help me to grow in my relationship with others, particularly in my working place. Concerning the issue of craving English, what I would like to know more about it is one, the mode of payment and the currency of the payment, and how much they pay per hour. It is very good that I should know about it, as it will also help me to understand how the company works. Altogether, I'm happy to be a teacher. I have nothing to regret about it. Rather, I should be happy that I'm a teacher who every day comes in contact with young children, young adults from different countries, different nationalities, different cultures. And I'll be very much happy if I'm made to work with the Craven organization teaching English online to students from different cultures. Thank you.